Hello, everybody. Welcome to Bible class. We are here studying the Sermon on the Mount today, and we're looking at Matthew 6. We'll see 22, 23, and 24. Matthew 6, 22 through 24. All right, let's read that. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. But if thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness? No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and mammon. All right, so we're talking about really continuation here, verse 21, for where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So Jesus is explaining this. The light of the body is the eye. He's really talking about our focus here, and he's talking about he's talking about how our focus really controls who we are. So when he talks about your eye, it's really what you're looking at. So if your eye be single, your whole body will be full of light. Single-mindedness is what he's talking about here. We can actually look at if your eye be single is a good translation of that word then. The idea there is or single-mindedness. That is, you focus on a single thing. You are dedicated to one thing. And Jesus really is talking about dedication. We know this because of verse 4. No man can serve two masters. So this whole talk about the light of the body is the eye, and what your eye is, it has to be then what your dedication is. It has to be where your affection is. In Colossians 3, here we go. This is appropriate here. If ye then be risen with Christ, seek those things which are above, where Christ sits on the right hand of God. Set your affection on things above, not on things on the earth. So where does our affection go? Where does our eye look? Well, our affection should be on things above. We shouldn't be focused on earthly things. And that's the message that Jesus is trying to get across. He wants our eye to be focused on things above. He wants our heart to be with him, really, on things above, rather than on things of this earth. If your eye is single, your whole body is full of light. Well, what kind of light is he talking about? He's talking about the light of, Christianity, the glory of Christ shining through in you. Jesus said earlier in this sermon, you are the light of the world. So back there in chapter 5, you are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. So we're to be lights. And in order to do that, our focus has to be in the right place. If your eye is single, your whole body is going to be full of light. You're going to be able to radiate that if your focus is in the right place. You can't fake it, though, because God knows where your heart is. So the light that radiates from you, it has to come from your heart, and it has to come with prior dedication. If your eye be evil, well, what's he talking about there? The evil eye. No, he's not talking about somebody giving you the evil eye, frowning at you or whatever that is. He's talking about your eye being focused on the wrong thing. Your priorities are wrong. So what are you looking at? What do your eyes see in this world? Well, if your eye is evil, your whole body's going to be full of darkness. Why? Because, well, we follow our focus. So if the light that is in thee is darkness, how great is that darkness? The light that is in thee is darkness. So what light do you have? Apparently everybody is some sort of luminescent. But, if you have a lack of, or we're supposed to be at least, spiritually speaking, he's talking about. But if your light is darkness, how great is that darkness going to be? And this is, when I think about this, I think, oh man, well, some people try to straddle the fence. They try to get the best of both worlds. And Jesus keeps saying, you can't do that. You can't have it both ways. So if the light that's in you is darkness, okay, so you're supposed to be displaying the glory of Christ, right? So that everyone can see. Let your light so shine among men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. But if that light that you have, if it goes out, then how great is that going to be? In the English Standard, let's see what it says. If your eye is bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light in you is darkness, how great. All right, so it doesn't say it differently. Let's see what the ASV says. Yeah, if the light that is in thee is darkness. I just wanted to, it seems that the idea there is if the light has gone out, right? If you're displaying, and really the light that is in you is talking about what we display to the world, right? Let your light so shine before men that they may see. So the light that is in you it's what you display to others. So we could say if the light has gone out, right? And that's why I was looking to see a different translation. If the light that is in thee, if it has gone out, it could have said that, but I'm pretty sure, and I'll just look. Oh, not the ESV plus. I wanted the Greek. If the light in you is dark. Yeah, okay. So it pretty much says that the same in the Greek too. If the light is darkness. Okay, so if the light, so it's not saying if the light has gone out, right? Because when you think of light, it's shining at I get a flashlight, I can tell you about the intensity of the light. It's shining at 100 lumens or 200 lumens or whatever. There's a measure, right, to the amount of light something produces. And when there's no light, I would say that the light has gone out. But he says, if the light that is in you is darkness. And it got me thinking, well, why does he say it this way? And the light represents our impact on the world. And we're going to have that impact. So the light going out means there is no light, right? Well, there's always going to be an impact that we have on the world. So it's not saying the light that is in you is gone, because the light that is in you represents something, right? Your whole body, verse 22 says that your whole body will be full of light. So if your eye is evil, your body's going to be full of darkness, and the light that is in you, well, what is that? That's how you impact other people, your influence. If it's darkness, it's going to be such a great darkness. How do we influence people? How do we impact people? What effect do we have on others? Well, you're either going to have a positive effect or you're going to have a negative effect. If the effect that you have on other people, it's the light, is good, well, then you're that light sitting, and then you're that city set on a hill. You can't be hid. But what happens if the effect that you have on other people, the influence that you have on other people is darkness? Well, then you cause people to stumble, don't you? You cause people to go down the wrong path. How great is that darkness? You don't want to be that kind of influence. I need to remember this verse for the next sermon I preach on influence, because that's good. Jesus is quite the teacher. Now we come to verse 24. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and mammon. So how does one have a bad influence? How does one turn their light into darkness, turn their influence into something that is negative? Well, it's who you serve or whom you serve. So there are two masters, two that are vying for your attention. Mammon. What is mammon here? Let's look that up. That word mammon. In the Greek, mamona or mamona, with the accent on that, or the accent on that last syllable there. We'll look over here and we'll look up that Greek word, mamonas or mamona, of Chaldee origin. Confidence, that is figuratively wealth personified. Mamonas, that is avarice. Here we have mammon, treasure, riches, whether it's personified and where it is personified and opposed to God. So you have four, it occurs 4 times in the King James. We can look those up real quick. Look at this. Search. Can't serve God and mammon. Make friends of the mammon of unrighteousness, if you've made friends, and then no. So we have 2 times, really. Matthew 6 and Luke 16:13 are speaking of the same thing. Luke 16:9 and 11 is another occasion. So Jesus mentions mammon twice in his teaching. Wealth. And the dictionary says it's personified, and really that's not a, oh, that's neat. That's really cool. Look at that. Just learned something about my Bible program. It gives me all of the search results here. That's cool. If you have eSword, well, maybe you just learned something new with me. All right, I want to go to Bible. I want to go there, 624. All right, so we can't serve 2 masters. We can't serve wealth. And I like that Jesus used mammon because it's more than just money, right? Wealth is more than just the amount of dollars you have, or I guess in Jesus' time, the amount of denarii you had, or shekels, or there were a number of different units of money. Talents was a unit of money. So it's not just the acquisition of wealth, or an acquisition of money, but it is anything that makes up wealth. Wealth can be measured by a lot of things. So Jesus uses this word, which encompasses all of that. And really, what's he talking about? He's talking about the wealth that we hold to on this earth. So your form of wealth may be different from mine. And whatever on this earth that you're trying to acquire may be something different. Like you may be in real estate and trying to buy as many houses as you can so that you can rent them out. It's a good way to make money. Buy houses, fix them up, rent them out, or sell them. That's, you're investing in property, or you may be in stocks, trading in stocks, or there's a bunch of ways that people make money. Maybe in retail, buying and selling stuff. Like, sometimes Rebecca and I do that. We will buy and sell stuff on clearance, or we'll buy stuff on clearance, sell it on online for a nice profit. Hey, and it's nice. It's fun. But you can't serve that. Now, how do we know if we're serving something or just using it as a tool? Because there is a difference, right? Jesus is not saying don't acquire money, because look what it says here: work, eat. 2 Thessalonians 3:10, for even when we were with you, this we commanded you, that if any would not work, neither should he eat. Why do you work? Well, you work to make money. You use money to buy food. So if you're not going to work, if you're going to be lazy, then God says you don't deserve to eat. So he's not giving us an option here. Wow, that's really cool. All right, now, so you can't serve two masters doesn't mean, or serving mammon here doesn't mean acquiring money, because everybody has to have a job. Everybody has to, well, we're commanded to work and commanded to provide for our own. If a man will not work, he shouldn't eat. And there's also, let's go over here, infidel. Yeah. How do you spell infidel? Not that way. Infidel. There's an I in there. But if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house, he has denied the faith and is worse than an infidel. Therefore, working to make money so that you can support yourself and your family is not only a good thing, it is a necessary, it is a commanded thing. Thus, it's not what Jesus means when he says serving mammon. You cannot serve God and mammon. But how might we make wealth our master? What has to do with where our eye is pointed. If your eye is evil, the light of the body is the eye. So where is your focus? Are you a butcher, baker, or candlestick maker that goes to church? Or are you a Christian that works as a butcher, baker, or candlestick maker? Do you catch the difference? What primarily defines you? Is it your job, or is it your spirituality? Is it you're following Christ, or is it you're following that almighty dollar? Which master are you serving? And there are ways that we as Christians can show the world that we serve money. If we allow our job to take so much of our time that we don't have time to worship God or study the word, then we're in trouble, aren't we? So you can't serve God and money. You can't, and it says here, you're either going to hate the one and love the other, or hold to the one, despise the other. No straddling the fence. All right. That's all I'm going to say about those three verses, 22, 23, and 24. Oh, I can't hold shift there. Let's just go like that. These three verses, and mind your influence. People can see what you love, and that has an effect on people. All right. Thank you so much for paying attention. Thank you so much for listening, studying along with me, and I hope that you have a blessed day.